man may either find truth, or he creates his own. And so, the system of doctrine and dogma has painfully become an element of that which disunites and segregates those of us whom sincerely seek truth. Many people will therefore only accept ideas or concepts that are taught by specific groups or organizations, and, in such contexts that marries with their personal belief systems. It is evident then that the world we live in is shaped by a variety of vigorously held belief systems. And individually, we all have our own belief systems that determine our ideals, our morals, our thoughts, and indeed our standards of living. We tend to build rapport and empathy only with those who share our personally held ideals and opinions, etc. Thus we have mass segregation and division in terms of governments, religions, cultures, with thousands of variations in between. However, the standard of life we live is fundamentally based upon the standard or quality of decisions we make, which is based upon the quality of information we actually have. Moreover, the information in which we regard as truth is that which creates and shapes our belief systems. It is my admonition that regardless of our belief systems, there is a fundamental set of instructions that govern human behavior, in terms of our living in complete unity, and, in terms of reaching our fullest potentials. It would be assumed that since we are all born as children of the Creator, we would all come with a pocketbook manual, with simple instructions of how we ought to live life full of joy, love, prosperity, and success. We have been made to believe that religion in general is supposed to furnish us with such information. But does it? Evidently not, else there would be complete unity in humanity as a whole. So what about Wu-Sabat? And what is it? Wu-Sabat within itself is not based on any particular doctrine or dogma, so to speak. Rather, it is a divine principle that propounds a pivotal point in which truth seekers may scrutinize several doctrines or dogmas, and from within several different contexts. In other words, Wu-Sabat is a principle that recognizes proposed ideas or explanations, the origin of life for example, for people to consider, at the least. Wu-Sabat is our conscience faculty. Dr. Malachi Z. York brought the distinction of Wu-Sabat to the at-risk black youths of America and the world, by way of the UNNM, the United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors, an organization that teaches information based on verifiable historical facts, things that can be researched. He explains the meaning of the word Wu-Sabat, coming from the ancient Cometian, Egyptian, root word Nuewb, meaning before the light, or that which sprouts and germinates life. His objective was to reveal the very origins, the roots, of the three main monotheistic religions, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, retrospectively. Not merely to prove any of them wrong, but rather to reinsert the missing pieces of the puzzles. In short, it is the intention of this book to reinstate a number of these principles, since they are the very faculties of the human function. But first things first, let us remind ourselves of, or, present to those who may not understand, the implications of doctrine and dogma. A doctrine is defined as a belief or set of beliefs held and taught by a church, or a political party, etc. And a dogma is defined as a belief or set of beliefs held by a group or organization, which others are expected to accept without argument. Dogmas are therefore often disproving. Wu-Sabat is your presence of divinity. It is the divine within each and every one of you, regardless of race, culture, or creed, that drives you to question every person, place, thing, or circumstance that comes into your perception. It is the source of your quest. The ultimate truth that we all seek within this divine quest is that which will realign us with our Maker. We seek the ultimate rapture into unity with our Creator. The implications of doctrine and dogma, as can clearly be seen then, creates disunity, which is the illusion of third-dimensional awareness. This is evident in light of the thousands of orders of religions, cultures, tribes, governments, etc., across the world. Everyone seems to believe they know it all. Wisdom is knowing how little we actually know. Everyone is right according to their own standpoint, or standards. But the failure of individuals and organizations to acknowledge each other, in terms of having different perspectives of truth, has created segregation and diversity at epidemic levels. Never before has planet Earth had such a diversity of belief systems. This has created much disharmony and disunity. How do we define truth in reality? We currently live in a dimensional warp, which is governed by duality or polarity consciousness. We perceive things within the paradigms of good/bad, right/wrong, positive/negative, agreeable/disagreeable, etc. We decide upon what is truth within these parameters. So here is the thing. Planet Earth is at the fringe of a dimensional shift, a shift from disharmony and disunity into harmony and unity, a shift from polarity consciousness into unity consciousness. In order for Earth's humans to make this shift with the greatest of ease and minimum disruption, we must realize the very basics of our human function. These basics are what we have come to call principles. Through experience, evidence and reasoning, one can come to the realization that laws, whether created by tribes, religion or governments, are underpinned by very simple principles of living. The trouble is, man had fallen in his awareness and perception of a profound spiritual reality. Therefore, he had forgotten the very basics of principles that govern his human behavior. So the doors were open for the wise ones, the elders if you like, to create laws that would overlay these principles. The laws were then, in time, overlaid with countless amounts of doctrines and dogmas. However, to the elders, it became evident that man would better understand laws in his three-dimensional perception of the world, as opposed to the principles of fourth-dimensional living. Third-dimensional awareness is governed by the illusion of time and polarity. Meaning, for every scenario or circumstance, there would be two extreme possibilities in which a turnout can manifest, and, at some future time. Also, for every scenario or circumstance there are two extreme possible ways in which one can perceive a turnout, as positive or negative, as right or wrong, or as good or bad, etc., or at least at some variation in between. This is what has happened, to the extreme. Every tribe, culture or religion is now being interpreted by countless persons, who are unavailingly imposing their own perceptions of how they think people should act, in order to receive salvation. Fourth-dimensional awareness is unity consciousness, on the contrary. There are no polarized tendencies. There are no independent interpretations or feelings concerning how things should be. Whatever you think, or will manifest immediately in 4D. There is no time lapse as we experience in 3D. Manifestation is instant. This, we call real-time, now. Thus, by way of our understanding, and by application of the principles that govern our human being, the vehicle of the soul, we live in a presence where anything is possible, a life of moment-to-moment possibilities. With the guidance and assistance of the angelic ones, this book is designed to break the spell of time, mind and ego. It presents to the reader the infinitum of possibilities that are available when we dysfunction the illusion of time, of 3D, and enter the present now, 4D. The reader will be prompted moment to moment to observe his or her life, as opposed to being caught up in the circumstances of life. The circumstances of our life create pain, discomfort and dissatisfaction, with the hope for some future salvation. This is the illusion that time consciousness presents. We believe that the circumstance of our life is actually our life, and so we derive our identity from it. The reality, however, is that true life lies dormant beneath our circumstances. By entering 4D awareness, the present now, we become one with true life. We become one with all that is. To acknowledge oneness, is to act as one with all that is. The principle of oneness affirms our connection to every manifested part of the universe. It affirms our interconnectedness with all that is. In retrospect of the ancient Lemurian and Atlantean civilizations, this is known as the Law of One. With regards to this, in the fifth dimension and above there is only one spiritual law. We are all one. We are all part of God. The distinction of oneness is about accepting everyone and everything as they are, without judgment. This includes yourself. I am one with all, and all is one with me. I therefore act with the highest consideration for all. Whenever you set out to do a task, stop for a few seconds and just get present to the reality that your forthcoming actions will affect everyone else in your environment, at least. Be mindful of the protective barriers you put up to defend yourself. They prevent you from being one with others. Think of the positive and negative implications of your intentions. Then ask yourself the question, will the outcome of my act serve the greatest good for all? Your highest intuition will respond with the correct answer, so listen keenly without judgment. This is the source of your integrity. To express integrity, is to express the highest standards of commitment. The principle of integrity affirms that whatever we say we are going to do is as good as done. Integrity and commitment go hand in hand. One hand washes the other. Commitment is doing the things you said you would, even long after the mood in which you said it has gone. Without commitment there is no integrity. I am the manifestation of integrity. I am one with of my word everywhere, every time. I am that which I say I am. The fact that you said, I will see you at 5 p.m. sharp, when setting an appointment, you set up a challenge for your integrity. You have told your subconscious mind its mandate, which is to get you there on time. Now, if there is a problem, traffic for instance, you ought to get word to your friend/client as soon as you realize you are running late. This reaffirms your integrity. If you fail to acknowledge your friend/client, then your integrity is out. This repetitive action programs the subconscious mind to sabotage any forthcoming agendas. You therefore lack integrity, which is lack of unconditional love. Unconditional love is realized when you become a vessel for the love of the Creator. This is the principle of loving without purpose, intention or reason. Unconditional love is pure love. It is to love for the sake of love itself. When we are in love, heaven rejoices. God's will is thus for us to take a stand for love, which brings us joy, fulfillment and a sense of worth. God's host, the angelic ones, finds it difficult to access us through negative energy, which is lack of love. They can only access us completely when we are a stand for the love of God. I am in the love of all, and all love is within me. The ability to give without the tendency of wanting to receive something in return is almost inescapable for the majority of us. So the task then, is to practice unconditional giving, to present yourself in service to others, fully, and for no reason whatsoever. The universe will reward you with unlimited love, peace, and joy, which bestows blessings upon you. Inside the bosom of unconditional love, anything becomes possible. The first thing about possibility is the acknowledgement of infinite possibilities. This principle is to realize that anything we believe to be possible is indeed a possibility. Then, inside that realization, we can create possibilities for ourselves and our life simply by declaring them with our lips. Our long-held belief systems determine what we believe to be possible. Therefore, we only see and visualize what we believe to be possible for ourselves. By interrupting thought patterns of old belief systems and creating new ones, a whole new world and way of being becomes possible. I am all that I wish to be in the all, and I am forever present within the all. There are times in your life when everything just seems to be going wrong. That which you experience is for some reason frustratingly undesirable. So what do you do in situations like this? If, for instance, you are living a mediocre life and want a better lifestyle for yourself and your family, you can visualize and therefore create a possibility, mentally, the possibility of luxury and abundance in contrast. For example, the mental stimulation will create a desirable emotion, which resonates throughout your being. The visualization itself acts as a driving force of faith, which instructs your subconscious mind to create this possibility for you. You are therefore internally inspired. Your level of personal inspiration will determine the level of your successes. Once we have created our possibility, we must share that intended outcome with others such that they are inspired by that possibility. This creates a collective collaboration of sub-minds working together. See the distinction of possibility. However, your own level of inspiration has to be at its peak when sharing yourself. I share myself with others such that they are inspired by my possibilities. No one wants to be sold anything. However, people usually buy into your emotions. By sharing yourself emotionally, people become touched or moved, thus they are inspired by the possibilities you create for yourself. The exercise is to speak about what is available for you in your new career, or, of who you are being with your partner, for examples, with a level of passion and virility that touches and moves others emotionally. They therefore become one with your intention. Your intention may be, for example, to be at peace. True peace is attained when you give up the perception that something is either right or wrong. By acknowledging that all is well at the highest levels of manifestation, we enter a space of pure serenity. We enter the present now. In the higher orders of consciousness, above mind, there aren't any good or bad meanings, feelings or emotions. Things just are. Identification with the mind and ego creates this delusion, which brings us pain, sadness and disharmony. However, the divine energy that brings peace can be accessed at will through proper affirmation. I am exactly the way I am, and I choose my being to be exactly the way it is. You are to practice acknowledgement at the highest level. That is to allow persons, places, things or circumstances to be exactly as they are. It is only your 3D perceptions of reality that gives rise to the possibility of tendency, meaning, good/bad, agreeable/disagreeable, right/wrong, up/down, or hot/cold, etc., which all carry both positive and negative implications. Fourth dimensional awareness is unity, on the contrary. There are no tendencies. To be at peace with all that is to accept all that is. Through observation you will realize that the most peaceful people are also the most caring. Caring is having the ability to appropriately respond to the needs of others. It is far more practical for us to care than to say we love. Pure love cannot be grasped mentally, we only experience figments or reflections of its energy. Our perceptions of people's actions give us ideas of whether or not they are operating within the bosom of pure love. We acknowledge love from others through their levels of concern and compassion, which gives us a sense of how much they care. I am a manifestation of love, I live for love, but my actions show that I care. Your exercise here is to practice unconditional care, a faculty of love. That is to carry out good deeds for others who are in need, for no apparent reason other than the fact that you are a channel for love. Notice how you feel and appreciate when someone says they care about you, and when it actually shows up in their actions you enter a higher consciousness of love and appreciation for both yourself and for them. Therefore, if you are the recipient of someone's care, show unconditional gratitude and appreciation. Unconditional care creates certainty, which is a faculty of divine faith. Certainty is a grace you give yourself when you have absolute faith in yourself. Wu-Sabat is right knowledge. Right, within the context of that which serves our highest morals and serves the greatest good for all. Right knowledge secures certainty, since we are dealing with facts without any doubt whatsoever. When we are 100% certain about ourself or of the outcome of an agenda, we subconsciously emit energy of absolute conviction. We display great confidence, certitude and authority. I am absolutely certain that the life I am creating for myself is a reality. The world of 3D is full of mental and egoic distractions. Whenever you create a possibility for yourself and your life, opposition inevitably smacks you in the face. This can sometimes deter you from the goal if you are mentally weak. By having 100% certainty, absolute faith and belief in the realization of your agenda, you consciously and subconsciously override all objections. Thus, success is inevitable. For every seemingly opposing element that comes to your awareness, simply become present to them, and the emotion will disappear. Inside of that exact moment, reaffirm your possibility. The universe will empower you with its divine strategies. Strategy is the art of creating long-term self-duplicating plans. Strategy is only applicable in the practical sense. The world of time, the third dimension, therefore becomes a realm in which the higher self carries out practical functions. Possibilities are created instantly, in real time, 4D. But the manifestation in 3D, the establishment of a business for instance, may take several weeks. I am one with the strategies of the Creator, and all creative strategies are with me. The exercise here is to consciously reverse your highest attention faculty. This is to be, and to live within the present now, having only brief visits to the world of 3D and time, whenever it is necessary to carry out practical functions. It has become normal for many of you to live in the world of time, delusion and polarity, and only having brief visits to the present now. This must be reversed. This achievement will curtail the mind and ego, thus a higher awareness of self and being becomes evident, with unlimited possibilities and strategies. This is free for man to have. The beginning of freedom is the realization that you are not the thinker. The moment we become present to the thinker, as a watcher, or as an observer, a higher level of consciousness becomes activated. The distinctions of Wu-Sabat are intended to help us break through the constraints of the mind and ego. The less we identify with the mind and ego, the freer we become. I am the manifestation of freedom, therefore, I choose to observe the ramblings of my mind, and to feel the sensations of my emotions. I am present, therefore I am free. Practice listening to your internal dialogue and observing the sensations of your emotions. Like a bystander. As you tend to automatically identify with these two reactions, they imprison you mentally and emotionally. By becoming the observing presence, a vast opening of self-awareness becomes available. You enter into states of consciousness that is beyond mind. You become free of the constraints that excessive thinking and addictive emotions tend to impose on your being. Complete freedom therein denotes universal power. Mine your mind for the jewels of your soul.